Let me get a little more context in terms of who were your parents and how did they influence you, and did you have come from a family of lawyers, a family of activists? What can you tell me about your...
Okay, my parents were second generation Jewish working class or small business. My father was always a small business owner. He owned a tavern on Devon Avenue for many years, struggling always. They were not political at all. They were not involved in any type of political activity or political thinking. I had none in my family. I really didn't become politicized until the Vietnam War and kind of the counterculture, getting exposed to the counterculture. Basically, once I was even out of college, I wasn't even political in college at all. When I left college and came to law school, and that was like in '69, and then the war was going on. That's when I became politicized, and it was basically the process of the war. Kind of the idea of I felt like the society was too materialistic, and that I wanted to find another way, and I wanted to be a hippie, but I wasn't going to be a hippie. I was going to be a lawyer, but I related to the counterculture. And then my experience with the conspiracy trial really began to politicize me, and then meeting the lawyers that just started the People's Law Office, which I met like in '69, '70s. The People's Law Office started in '69.
Can you tell me about those individuals?
Okay. Well, the People's Law Office started in 1969, and it was very involved with the Panthers and with the Young Lords. And when Fred Hampton was killed on December 4th, 1969, they were, very involved in investigating that and uncovering it. And through my law school, I met some lawyer that was involved in the People's Law Office, a woman by the name of Susan Jordan, and she ultimately moved to California, and she actually died recently in a plane crash. But she was very dynamic. She invited me to come by the People's Law Office, and then I met Dennis Cunningham, who you've met, and Jeff Haas, and Flint Taylor, and these are guys that, were my contemporaries. Dennis is a little older. And I began to see, well, this is exciting, important stuff that they're starting to do, and I want to be part of it. And when I left being a law clerk, when I went down to Carbondale to do that Panther trial, it was with Jeff Haas and Flint Taylor of the People's Law Office. So that was my connection. And although they were not much older than me, they had been involved a year or two more than me, so they became kind of my political mentors at that time. And then I met a lot of the political people that were involved in the Weathermen and the anti-war movement and all the movements that the People's Law Office were beginning to get involved with. Michael James and Rising Up Angry, and Slim Coleman and the Uptown People's Center, and these were the beginnings of the movements in Chicago, anti-war and political movements.
What was your involvement with Rising Up Angry? Were you involved in that law program, legal program?
No, I wasn't. I knew a lot of the Rising Up Angry people, and from different times I was involved in some of their criminal cases, representing some of the people in their cases. But I wasn't that involved in Rising Up Angry, other than to know the people and be supportive of the work they were doing.
Okay.